Hey, how's it going? Whoops, out of practice there. Welcome to the shop. Hope you're having a great day. Man, been kind of crazy here. Got a new system, got a refurbished laptop, and I didn't realize it didn't have enough ports, and been setting up audio here and there, and whew. But this time I didn't put my notes on my phone. I actually put them on the screen. There's a second screen over here, but I turned it vertically so I could have the chat looking and my notes. So yeah, let's get this thing started. I got the knife down here, the integral. I'm gonna try to hand sand out some of these while I'm talking and all that to, you know, keep myself occupied while I rant and rave. Like I said, I hope everyone's having a great day. Let me start off, on my last live stream, Stalking Wolf made a comment and he asked me about tempering 5160. And I misread it thinking he was asking if it was okay to temper in the stove. But he was actually asking what the right temperature is. My advice, it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter what steel you use. Go to Google and you type in that steel in the data sheet. So, you know, 5160, so you're like, okay, 5160 data sheet. And it'll tell you all the exact heat treating specifications, the tempering, how long to temper. Like if you want a 60 HRC, you temper at 400 for 2 hours. Or, you know, 450 if you want like a 58. Yeah, all the data sheets right there tell you exactly how it is. Now you'll find, you know, guys like me or other people on the internet that have their own little tweaks to the recipe. But the best advice is go to the data sheet and then experiment a little bit with that and see how it works and work off that. You know, that's the best option. Start with the data sheets. Excuse me. So, I figured I'd start off, I labeled this making excuses for failure, fear, and laziness. And I've been guilty of all three. The one place I see it the most is when I was I am a musician. Like, even I did it, playing guitar and stuff. You'll hear a lot of guitarists say, oh, you don't need to learn music theory. You don't need music theory. Jimi Hendrix never had theory, which is a lie. You can tell by his playing. At first he might not have, but later in life he did learn theory. Or he knew it. But, you know, and really, that's just your fear of, you know, or your laziness of not putting forth the effort. These guys that can play amazing, they don't play amazing because they just picked up a guitar and they're amazing. They sat there for thousands of hours and played and played and played. Now, my biggest thing is, you know, it's either fear or failure, or fear of failure. You know, like even with this integral, I put it off and put it off a lot of times because of something I haven't done, and it's like, oh, if I fail at this, what's going to happen? So, you know, you just got to be careful. Now, I hope I can get this straight. Yeah. So, a lot of times people make excuses, or they'll say, oh, I don't like that, or I don't like this way of doing this or that, when really they're just being lazy about it and they don't want to put the effort in doing it that way. You know, I'll find myself doing it when it comes to hand sanding and stuff like that. Man, I'll make all the excuses in the world why I don't want to hand sand. Yeah, man. Which, you know, since that last video where I did the Damascus and this integral, they're the only two knives I've ever done that weren't on like flat stock steel. And man, it's given me a whole new respect for guys that forge. Because trying to do bevels on uneven steel, it's a whole new learning process. You know, if you go back and watch, you can see, like even in here, you can see where I went over the bevels because there's so many divots and dips. But, you know, you just gotta learn and adapt, and I gotta realize, like, every time I come off the mic, you guys can't hear me. I did that in the last stream, so it's all a learning process. Whew. So another thing, I don't know if any of you guys know or watch the Shay Tards or Shay Carl, but You know, I got hooked on him like 10 years ago, and I always watch him. And he always has this saying, use cliches. You know, life is a cliche. And they're cliches because they work. You know, there's all kinds of things that people say, oh, that's so cliche or that. But yeah, if people use it and it works. And, you know, there's a lot of things I've been saying lately to apply to my life to make my stuff better. And, you know, don't be afraid to do stuff. Anything you can use or do to get yourself ahead or get motivated, who cares what other people think, you know? I guess I've kind of always had the, I don't know if privilege, but I never really care what other people think because I've always kind of been a loner, so I'm used to people thinking I'm weird or crazy or messed up, so I always do things not how people expect them to do. Because that's kind of my forte, I guess is the word. So yeah, you just gotta use what you can and do what you can to get ahead, you know. And laziness is an easy trap to fall into. And, you know, you'll find yourself making all kinds of excuses when, in reality, if you just got up and did it, you'd probably save more time. See, that's me. Like handstanding and all this, you know, I'll try every trick in the book to be able to do it on the grinder so I don't have to handstand. You know, I'll use every escape, every trick, when if I would have just sat down and handstanded it, I would have probably saved a couple hours. You know, I'm always making different kinds of contraptions and trying different methods so I don't have to sit there and handstand when if I would have just sat there and did it, you know, I guess I'm repeating myself, but I have a tendency to do that. Man, it's been a pretty hectic day. You know, everything was went smooth. I actually cleaned this whole shop. If you follow me on Instagram, you see my stories all morning. I've just been cleaning little part by little part, getting it all broken down, because that's one of my problems, is I let things go. You know, I'll be like, oh, procrastination. I'll clean that tomorrow. And then I come in tomorrow and start working and it builds up. Oh, well, I'll get to that later. And it builds up till I just was like, this place is a mess. I can't take it anymore. And I just clean it all. So, you know, we got to look at ourselves and figure out what we can do to better ourselves. Yeah. Robert Taylor, hey, what's up? I thought I have the chat here, but I thought it'd be bigger, so it's hard for me to see. I put it in the camera's line so I could see. So if you see me squinting over like that, it's because I'm blind. I used to have 20/15 vision. They said I had pilot's vision, better than vision, and now I can barely see. I've got 3 different kinds of glasses. Check this out. These are like my 105, 110, just to help a little bit. These are like 175, and these are like 210. These are what I'll usually grind with. So, that's why in a lot of thumbnails and stuff you see me with these, because I just finished grinding and all that, and took the picture and all that. Excuse me. Need something to drink here. By the way, I don't drink alcohol, it's just water. I actually despise alcohol. But I won't go into that. You know, honestly, if alcohol was to come out today, it would be illegal, just like every other drug. So either make all drugs legal, or make them all illegal. Can't have different stances. And I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me because everyone likes to drink, but I don't know. I won't get into that. So another topic on here is, it says, I have no hustle. Now I see these guys, man, they can sell anything and do anything. And just, you know, not do anything, but they can sell anything, and they just have ways of getting their stuff sold. They don't even have to make it. They can just take your stuff and sell it. you'll be out there trying to get it sold for months and months. They'll pick it up and have it sold in an hour. You know, I see all these guys on YouTube. I'll take $1 and make it 1,000 in 5 days. And they do it. But I wonder how, you know, it is all on camera, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. But it's true, you know. I knew this one guy, he was from Rhode Island, and I lived in Virginia Beach. And I used to tell him, man, you could sell someone their own mother. And he could. This dude could sell anything. He used to hate when I said that, though. I made this little sanding block. I had this Duro 70 rubber because I was going to make my own contact wheels, like 1-inch wheels and all that for hollow grinding and all that. So I went and cut it a piece and glued it onto a piece of metal. So after I get through these pads, because I'm trying to break it all down, this is like an 80 grit pad. So I'm going to try to break it and get it all smooth, and then we'll work our way up. So hang on. You know something funny? I guess one of the reasons I started doing these live streams is for a lot of self-reflection. And lately, I've kind of always known this. I'm either really high or really low. I'm never in between. And it's funny. If you watch my live streams, they're either really good and go pretty smooth, or they just crash and have problems. And so it's even like different aspects of my life are like that. It's like never just a normal flow, nice pace. Oh man, living a great life. It's either, man, I'm flying off the walls, or man, things are just going bad. But I always try, you know, there's ruts you get into or things, and you just don't feel like doing anything. And that's when you got to force yourself to. It's like, get down there and do something, or go out and do something, or pick up a pen and write, pick up a pen and draw, get on the create, you know, or do whatever your hobby is, you know. Go take pictures. Photography is like my new obsession. Ever since I got this camera, I've been just consumed with learning how to edit and learn how to take the right kind of pictures and what lens will take this pictures. I actually got some pictures. If you go on my website, I finally got these up on there, and so I got some good pictures of them. So they are actually up. It took 3 weeks to finally get the pictures and get them up, but they're up there. Came out pretty nice too. One thing, it's like, man, I never knew knife making took so much work that didn't involve knives. Because it's true. If you can have the most beautiful thing in the world, but if it doesn't look good, someone's not going to buy it. And that goes for anything, you know. Just like I was talking about last week. You could be the most talented person in the world, but if you don't get it out there and no one sees it, it doesn't matter. You know, it's not that it doesn't matter. That's one of my all or nothing things again. It's just, it doesn't make an impact. Let me put it that way. It doesn't make an impact. It still matters, but, if people can't see it, then, it's almost like it doesn't exist, but it does. And it's important to you, and it's important to the people around you. But wouldn't it be better if everyone could see it? No, man. I'm starting to like these Sunday rants, even if people don't stay and watch. At least I get to, it's very therapeutic. I get to get everything off my chest and show people my crazy side. Or maybe my sane side. Maybe people think this is the sane part of me. Yeah. It seems to actually be working pretty good. Sweet. Get it all cleaned up and nice. So I got some of this, it's called CA glue, but it's basically just super glue. Now I got the stuff, it's also got the accelerator, but from what I've seen, you don't want to use the accelerator because it can actually make it boil, and bad things happen if you're not careful with it. So it's basically super glue, but it puts an awesome finish on it, because with this wood, it's got these spots on it. Let me see here. Got this all clamped down. Yeah. With this wood, there's these spots like right here, and like right here, and here. It's almost like fuzz, and I think it's just part of the wood, and I think it's why people stabilize koa wood. You know, but you know, I was watching Jeremy at Simple Little Life, and even his stabilized koa wood had problems. So, and I was asking Sam, you know, the guy who forged this, Sam at Firekeeper Forge, if he's ever used super glue, and he said yeah, and it works great. And you can even put like sawdust. We used to do that with wood glue when I was working as a carpenter. You take some sawdust, you put it in the crack, and then you fill it up with wood glue, and then you sand it down. So after I finished I've got a lot of spots here that need to be sanded out and straightened out and all that. The handle's pretty good from last week's hand sanding adventures while live streaming. But now I got to get see all these spots here? These all need to come out, which they're starting to smooth out. I wanted to keep my bevel line straight, so that's why I put this tape here. This side's pretty good. But you can see, like when I'm grinding, how from the imperfections, well, not from where he forged it out, there's divots. So when the belt grinder hits it, it leaves marks. And that was the same with the Damascus. Wherever there was like, you know, where they forged it in, the bevel would go over. But the Damascus I sent back to Heath, and he said he's going to hand sand it all, so that should be good. I just set up my little clamp here because I had to put up a block. Boom, put it down. Get us all locked in here. Some more of that duo stuff. Duo rubber. Yeah, if you have a contact wheel, like a 10-inch contact wheel or whatever, go look at it. That's the stuff that's on it. Because I always have these projects in my head, yeah, I'm going to do it. I still have 2 contact wheels that I'm trying to make that haven't been made. They're about 3/4 of the way done. But, so, this is working. Let's see. Oh, my affiliate links. I hate to do it, but, you know, since YouTube made knife making a inappropriate thing, and they did the 1,000 subs, I have to find other ways for income. I've actually asked a lot of like video influencers. There's a lot of guys out there that teach you how to do YouTube. If you're interested in doing like live streaming or YouTubing or any of that, there's all kinds of channels. And I'll go on their live stream and I'll ask them. I was like, so if YouTube made your niche or whatever inappropriate, what would you do? One guy said, make your channel metalworking. And I've thought about that, but I have to label my titles and I have to put thumbnails up. I can't just put metalworking. So, you know, where it was a good idea, it wouldn't work. You know, for a while I was trying to do that, just put like 5160, but not put what it is. You know, like the new build with the karambit and the recurve, I would put like 1095 build and leave out knife. But what kind of 1095 build? You know, knife makers, guys that are interested in making knives and stuff, they're not going to come and find that. So, and another guy, you know, the only other advice one guy said, he's like, well, YouTube has a right. It's their stream, and it's true. They have the right to tell you it's inappropriate, and they can do whatever they want. And he's like, you need to find other means. So, the affiliate links, you know, I have a Patreon, but I feel bad asking people to go support me on Patreon until I get more of a following, you know. So, there's just different, I'm trying to look into ways that I could, you know, monetize without sitting there and telling you every minute, hey, support this, go buy this, because I don't like doing it, but I need to start supporting the channel and supporting my knife. I mean, the knife making does a little bit. In fact, one of the guys, Martin, he's like, how much do you sell your knives for, and how do you make money off knives? And it's like, well, I'm a new knife maker, so I gotta kind of sell my knives low so people see the good quality and the good product I put out, and I build a name. Then I can start maybe raising my prices. But until then, I'm not really making money off knives, Luckily for me, my mom, I take care of my mom 24/7, and she's sick in bed and all that. So instead of going to work and paying, a nurse to take care of her, I do it, and I have I can come down here and make videos and do all that stuff and make knives and hopefully build my business, so when she's 88 years old, had a stroke 3 years ago. So I know the time's going to come, the time I don't want to deal with is going to come. So I'm trying to get everything taken care of, so when that time does come, I will have a little bit of a leg to stand on. So excuse all the affiliate links and all the shilling and the shirts and all that. I really appreciate it, but it's something I have to do. Which brings me to my next topic. Work in progress, expectations, hobby to pro. And this goes for everything. And I even said it when I started knife making, and I've heard 1,000 guys say it, I don't make knives to sell, I'm just doing it for a hobby, I enjoy it, blah, blah, blah. And then you watch them, and you can even go back and watch me. You get to about 6 months, and you're like, wow, these are looking pretty good. And then, it starts becoming more of something you want to do to make money and stuff like that. I didn't even try to sell a knife I made knives for 2 years before I even tried to sell one. Before I even started making YouTube. It was like 2 years of making and just doing bad stuff, and then got my craft down, and then I started. And then, so you start out, you're like, it's just a hobby, and, it's just for fun. And then the more and more you get into it, it's like, maybe I can start making a business of this. Maybe they will sell. And then you hit like purgatory, where they're kind of good enough to sell, but you're not selling anything, and you don't know why, and you see all these people that are making knives that are kind of on the same level as yours, and they're selling. And then a lot of times I wonder if they're just saying they're selling, And that's the part of the hustle thing I'm telling you. One thing I do is I observe everything, and I take everything for a grain of salt, and half the time I think people are, BSing, because there'll be guys that be like, man, how are you selling so many knives? It's like, I can't even keep knives around. They want them faster. And then you kind of watch what they're doing, and you see that they're not really doing that. They're just kind of BSing and putting out their hustle so people think they're in demand, That's one thing. If someone thinks you're in demand, they're going to want it more than if you're like, I can't do this. Will you please buy my knife? See, I have a fault of honesty, where I'm always over honest about everything I do, and I think that's why I have no hustle, because I wouldn't want someone to be dishonest to me, so it's hard for me to be like, yeah, I'm doing this when I'm not. It's not even lying, it's just, making yourself presentable, more presentable, And that's how it was when, computers and all that stuff. I have all the intelligence and all the know-how to do it all, but when it comes to go finding a job to do it, I don't have the hustle to go out there and put on, here's the excuse thing again. Put on the fake face, when I didn't. When I really, all I had to do was go out and do it. But there I am making excuses. I have to be this or I have to be that. And, that would, see, it's pretty cool when you find all these self-reflections and you find out things and you start, kind of going into, trying to fix what's wrong with yourself. Am I boring anyone yet? So let me know in the comments though if you have anything you want me to talk about, or any suggestions, any knife making things you want me to know. One guy wrote on one of my old videos, "You should redo this," and it was the compound grind videos, and I told him, well, you're just in luck, because that's what I'm going to do. This is going to be a compound grind on this. So kind of ironic how it came right when I started building this. But yeah. So see why I edit? I keep saying this, but I have a lot of so's and and now last week I talked about helping others, and don't be fake about it. It feels good to help others, but there's also a point when you got to realize that helping others, they're not accepting your help, or they're taking advantage of your help. Yeah, you got to know when to say no. And, that was one thing that I had a big problem with, because I was like a big pushover, People used to always ask me, can you take me here? Can you drive me here? Can you pick me up this? And, and I never could say no. And people start relying on that and think, oh, well, he's just going to say yes. Doesn't matter. He's going to say yes. So, and I actually just cut everyone off, and, it's like, man, there's a difference between friendship and using people. And when you start giving people, I don't know, it's not instinct, but people don't even want to do it. But the more you give people, they'll start taking, even if they don't want to. It's just like something that's in our, in our genes. If someone's going to give us something, we're going to take it. Where I'm the opposite. Man, asking people for help is one of my biggest faults. I'll do everything in my power to do it myself. And man, I just can't ask, even when I was a little kid, one of my mom's friends, I guess I stayed, or she babysat me or something, she's like, Dave never asked for something. He'll hint around to it, but he won't ask for it. Like, even if I want, like, can I get something to drink? I'll be like, oh man, sure would be nice, man. Wonder if there's something to drink, or, I wouldn't ask for something to drink. I would hint around about, that drink looks nice, or, you know what I'm kind of saying. But, let's see, what is this? That's the 220. It seems to be working pretty good. Get this all smoothed out and ready to go. Let's see. I think I've hit all my topics. 3:30. So it's been about a half an hour of me ranting and raving. So I think that means it's about time. Half an hour is a good time to sit here and listen to me rant and rave. So if you're watching this on the rebroadcast, leave me comments, Give me ideas or topics you want to hear about, or things you want to rant about, or anything, knife related, music related, computer related. If you got a question about something wrong with your computer, ask me. I probably can fix it, or I'll try my best. I can't make any promises, but I'll try. So, alright, I think that's about it. Hope everyone has a great day, had a great weekend. Looking forward to next week. Hope we all get some stuff done. Alright, that's about it. Thanks for watching. And as always, take it easy.